Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Frame Game. Today we're taking a look at the E3 2019 Nintendo Conference. And I mean, I say that loosely, but it was like a YouTube video that they released or whatever. It wasn't really a conference, but whatever. But either way, I'm really excited. They had some amazing reveals, and I just had to talk about it. So I took some notes while I was watching it so that I could kind of go over the main epic parts of this. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first game thing, well, not really a game, the first DLC that they showed us of Smash Bros. Ultimate, which seems to be becoming a regular thing, was Dragon Quest characters. And that was really exciting to see and all. I was like, oh, cool, Dragon Quest characters, that's great and all, but I want to see more of the next Dragon Quest builders or something else Dragon Quest related. And then, right after it, out of the blue, they came out with Dragon Quest XI Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition S, for Switch, which was amazing. I love Dragon Quest games. I played on the PlayStation 2 the 3D Dragon Quest game, and I always thought that was amazing. I also played the one where you're like a character that's a fallen angel, and you gotta like get your wings back or whatever, and then you find out you're betrayed or something. It was a really good game, and it was a lot of fun. I love those games. And Dragon Quest Builders was fun, but I was like, oh man, I want a more turn-based Dragon Quest RPG again, because those were so much fun. And now we're getting that, and we're getting it on the Switch of all things, which is amazing, and I'm just so excited for it. It looked really nice, the graphics were great. I can't remember if this was one of the ones that was like a CG trailer and not actual game footage. Some of them were trailers and not actual game footage, and other ones were like only game footage. So, it was a little hard to keep track of that. Speaking of which, the very next game that was revealed was pretty much only game footage, and it was Luigi's Mansion 3. And they showed a lot of this game. I was actually surprised. And they showed some of these new moves, abilities, his new vacuum. He had the smash ability, which looked really cool and very well polished, where you grab the ghost, swing it over your shoulder, and bash him down to the ground to, bring down their health or whatever faster so you can suck them up in the vacuum. They also had, which looked really cool, was they brought back Luigi. I was very surprised. At the same time, I wasn't surprised. It was weird, right? With a big major Luigi's Mansion 3 installment, I was expecting that they would pull another, what was it called? Like Dark Moon or whatever the game was, the second Luigi's Mansion game where they had quote unquote multiplayer, but it wasn't local co-op or anything. And well, I mean, I guess you could play a local co-op, but it wasn't the full game, should I say. Instead, it was like this side game, and having only two players was practically impossible for that game. It was definitely designed to have up to four players, so if you only had a second person to play with, you practically couldn't do anything with it. But that's what I was expecting with this. I was expecting the single player experience and then like an additional tacked on multiplayer thing with it. However, they took Luigi from the Luigi's Mansion remake for 3DS and they threw him in there. You pass the Joy-Con to someone else and play local co-op the whole game. I was also surprised, but also not too surprised, that they showed that the mansion is a hotel. So instead of a mansion or whatever, it was in a hotel, and I was excited for it. It looks a lot bigger and more extensive than the first Luigi's Mansion game. Maybe bigger than the second one, hopefully. I'm sure it is. And then, but the big thing for me was what I was hoping it would be is not what it ended up being. I was kind of hoping for a Luigi's Mansion city, and with the city, you could do kind of a Silent Hill thing, but with Luigi, like the Nintendo's version of Silent Hill, where you walk around this empty town that's just riddled with ghosts, and you got to collect these keys to unlock different doors to different houses and to the mayor's office and just all these different places, maybe a creepy movie theater that you go in and the screen turns on and whatever, because they've done stuff like that in the past. I just figured having a much more extensive, kind of like how they made Breath of the Wild this big open thing and Mario Odyssey, I thought maybe they'd carry that on with Luigi's Mansion. Hopefully it's still kind of open with the hotel where you can kind of go anywhere and do anything in any order. But until we really have the game, there's no telling, you know? Anyways, after that, they showed Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. I don't know who was wanting this, what the market is towards. I know there's a Netflix TV series, and that's what it's all about, you know, it's kind of revealing the thing. When it said the word Netflix in this trailer, though, I was actually thinking that they were finally releasing Netflix on the Nintendo Switch. Because they have Hulu and they have YouTube, where the crap is Netflix, and then they had the word Netflix in this thing, and I was like, oh crap, they're doing it. And the first show that's they're really pointing towards being on the Switch with Netflix is the Dark Crystal show. But instead, they were like, the video game, the thing everybody wanted, right? It's like, what? So that was rather disappointing. I really thought Netflix was finally on its way, but I guess not. After that, they showed The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. And that was really exciting. You know, I've been interested in this game for a while, ever since they revealed it. I love the graphics, the visuals, the animations. All looks great. However, there was something that surprised me in this new reveal. Most of it was pretty straightforward and as I expected, but then they were like, oh, you have this tool, you create your own dungeon, and then you complete your own dungeon, and you unlock special items for it. So I thought that was kind of weird, because it's like, if you're creating your own dungeon, there's no, there's no surprise, you know where all the chests are and whatever, and basically how to get them, right? Or is it like random rooms? I don't understand how it works. But hopefully it'll be cool. I was kind of disappointed though. I felt like there should have been, an online aspect to it where you create a dungeon, upload it, and then other people can download it and challenge your dungeons. Kind of like a Mario Maker sort of thing or whatever. But no, you make your own dungeon and then you complete your own dungeon. And I thought that was really weird. But, I digress. It is what it is, I guess. After that was so exciting, though. They showed Trials of Mana, which is a game that, hasn't ever come to America. Now it's like, oh, it's finally here, the third installment of the Mana series or whatever, and it's coming fully created for the Nintendo Switch. And it looked great. The graphics were beautiful. I love Secret of Mana games. Not to mention, available right now, apparently, which was very surprising, was like the entire Mana collection of all the past Mana games. So that was amazing. And I really, really want to get that because I love the Secret of Mana and their games and the co-op aspect of it. I'm really hoping that the new game, the third installment, or whatever, the one that's never come to America, has multiplayer co-op aspect to it. But, I'm not 100% sure. I've never played the game. I live in America, never even seen it. I didn't even know it really existed until today. So I was like, wow, cool. That's fun. After that, what did they show? It was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Now, I've never been able to get into the Witcher games in general. I tried The Witcher jumping straight into The Witcher 3, but there were all this lore and whatever that I just didn't understand. They're talking about these characters that I just didn't know who. And he's like, I'm hunting down this person. I'm like, who are you hunting down? And I don't know. It was really confusing. I had no idea what was happening. And I just didn't feel satisfied with playing a game that I didn't understand what I was doing. So then I tried playing the older ones. And oh my goodness. The very first game of The Witcher or whatever was just awful. It was going to that, like, the controls were bad. I'm sure when people first played it, they were like, oh man, this game's amazing. But nowadays, you go to it and you're like, oh my goodness, the controls are awful, graphics are awful, voice acting's awful, story's kind of crap. It wasn't great, it wasn't fun, and so I've never been able to get into the Witcher games. I guess I just missed the opportunity years ago when I first could have delved into them. And I've never really played them ever since, but I'm still super excited that this game is coming to the Switch. For a major, major reason. This game, the Witcher games in general, especially the third one, are hugely popular. And not just that, like, not only is it exciting of how popular they are or whatever, but I'm so excited for it because I feel like this will be a major turning point for Nintendo. I mean, they've already been doing really well with Switch sales and stuff, but I think this game is going to be a major console seller for a lot of people who haven't gotten a Switch yet. They're going to see this, they're going to think, my goodness, I can get The Witcher 3, Skyrim, a ton of Resident Evil games. Like, they're like, the Switch is just getting better and better, all these crazy reveals and stuff. And people who love The Witcher 3 and love playing it all the time to have that ability to play it while on the go wherever you go. I mean, that's awesome. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be sold on this, and that'll sell a lot of consoles. But that's just a theory of mine. Anyways, Fire Emblem came up next, and I am super excited about this. The voice acting looked fantastic, graphics looked great, everything was just as I expected. It was just beautiful, and apparently got a July 26th of 2019 release date, which was earlier than I was expecting actually. I was thinking it was going to be delayed, postponed, or something, and that it would go back maybe at the end of this year or into the next year, sometime September, October, or next year. However, they were just like, oh yeah, July 26th. And then he comes on and he's like, sorry guys, you're going to have to wait a little longer, I know. But honestly, that's earlier than what I was expecting. So I was like, yes! I'm so excited. I completely thought it was going to come out later and I was going to be kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised, but I'll wait for it. But no, it's coming out so much sooner than I was thinking it would, so I'm stoked. I'm sure other people were like, come out this month, come out this month. But I mean, July's so close. We're almost there. July 26th, that's not far away at all. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then they showed No More Heroes 3. I've never played a No More Heroes game, so I can't really say anything about it. We also didn't get a date, except for that it's coming out in 2020. So, I mean, it looked cool for what it's worth. And I'm sure that people who like that game will love that game. So, you know, great for them, as they say. And then they showed a Contra. That was interesting. A new Contra game coming out this September. And then they also had the Contra Collection, which is available already. It's like available right now, I think. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, I never liked the Contra games either. I played one of the older ones. Was it NES or something? Or maybe the Sega Genesis at a friend's house. I can't remember. I played one of the earlier Contras. Didn't like it. So I never really played any of the other ones. But I mean, I know it's a big game for a lot of people. So being able to get the original games and a new one this September, that's pretty awesome. And for the original games to be available today or whatever, whenever this direct was, I mean, that's pretty fantastic. Because yeah, the direct was today, 55 minutes ago, this video says, or something. So yeah, I mean, to be available later today is fantastic. Alright, after that they showed Daemon X Machina. Honestly, not my cup of tea. I've never been a mech fan myself, so I'm not going to get anything out of it. But hey, I mean, for people who like mechs and stuff, a full mech adventure RPG looking game on the Nintendo Switch, it's like an action RPG. That's cool. You know, I'm happy for those of you who like that. um, After that, they had a game that I just don't know about at all. It looked kind of weird. It was this dragon that flies around shooting stuff, and it's called Panzer Dragoon or Dragoon. It was like two O's. But I don't know, it looked really weird. And I've never personally, I know this is blasphemy, but I've never liked the Fox games. I know, it's terrible. He's so iconic and popular, and I love the character of Fox, and I love his voice actor. It's great. The aesthetic of Fox is wonderful, and I love it. But I just can't get into the games. I don't know why. I've never been able to have fun with them. But I've never really liked on-rail shooters to begin with, and that's what the older games really were, pretty much. So, I don't know. Wasn't my cup of tea, but man, for people who like those games, I mean, there's a dragon version, I guess. I don't know, it looked really weird. After that, they mentioned, oh yeah, they talked a little bit about Pokemon again, which they already revealed a ton about Pokemon, so they didn't really have much to say. They did mention the Pokemon Plus will be compatible with the new Pokemon game. You could take a Pokemon with you and it'll level up or whatever on the go. So that's cool, you know. I'm glad that they made this little Pokeball thing for like one game, but now it's like, oh hey, by the way, you can now use it for two games. So, you know, for people who bought that, at least they're getting a little bit more of their money's worth for what it's worth. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was also surprised when they first revealed the Pokemon and stuff about how they talked about the world. It's now like a bigger, more open world, and you have like this camera. You have it like I mean, that's just how you say it, I guess. You have a camera. You have an actual camera this time. You can spin around your character and see in 360 degrees. Ooh boy, they're really innovating now. Though, no, in all due seriousness, people were dying for this. They were like, please stop with the top down thing. We want this big epic Pokemon game that has like these new features, including this rotatable camera. And they did it. It's awesome. I'm pretty excited for it. I know my sister's excited for it, as well as some of my other family members and friends and whatnot. I mean, it's a big thing. It's really cool. And then I am wondering if they're going to do co-op like they did with the other Pokemon game, where you could like pass the controller over and then pop into their world and walk around in it, whatever, and help battle or whatever. I somehow doubt that that'll happen. I don't think they said anything about it. At least I didn't see anything about it. If there is something about it, that would be awesome. But I just don't know at this point. I really hope that's the case, but I don't know. That's all there is to it. So, anyways, the next thing they showed was a pretty awesome looking action RPG. Oh, yeah, Astro Train. I'm like looking at my notes. I'm like, what was I talking about? Astro Chain. This game looks really cool. You like capture the enemies and then you use them as weapons. And I thought that looked like a lot of fun, you know? Ugh, sorry, I'm dying a little bit, but getting too excited here. I'm starting to go hoarse. But, yeah, I mean, it looked great. It looked like a lot of fun. You get to capture enemies and use them as weapons. What more could I ask for, you know? And it's an action RPG. I love Kingdom Hearts games and all that good stuff, so I'm rather excited for this one. Anyways, after Astral Chain, they then showed a tactical mafia game, I guess. I don't know, it was called Empire of Sin. It looked kind of weird. You're like taking over the city or something, which is why I say it's like a mafia game or something. And as you're taking over the city, it looks like there were some kind of money buildings you get money from periodically or something. I don't know. They really had nothing to say about it at all. They just kind of showed a little bit of it. The first thing was not actual game footage, and then right after that it was like, game footage is not final. So they showed some game footage, but they were like, it's not complete, it's not final. If you see something weird or off, it's because it's not final, okay? It's not done. So they kind of gave a disclaimer there, and that's coming out in 2020. Don't really know what to say about it, so, you know, there you go. Then they showed Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. That is huge. I know the Marvel Alliance games are just hugely popular. A lot of them have been great. I've heard that some of them have been mediocre, but this one looked pretty good. And then multiplayer, you can see the different colored circles under different characters, so I know it's multiplayer. They showed the different characters, you know, they had a Miles Morales Spider-Man. That was really cool. I am super excited for it, personally. I love Marvel, and this is just pretty exciting, so I'll probably grab that when it comes out. After that, they showed Crypt of the Necrodancer and the Zelda version, Cadence of Hyrule. Because we've known this has been coming for a while. It's kind of been revealed a long time ago, so it wasn't surprising by any means, but this is a game that's been on my radar for years. And I've been tempted to get it many times, but then I just never do. I'm just like, well, and then I don't. But now with the Zelda aspect, I am planning on getting this one. I am actually super excited. I want to play the Zelda portion of it, and it comes out June 13th. That is awesome. And then they showed something which I'm sure a ton of people were kind of crazy excited for. This is like a cult classic following game. It's weird. Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. Who knew an Olympic Mario and Sonic games could be so strangely successful and popular? Like, it's kind of funny. A lot of them I've heard are a lot of fun. I've never played any of them myself, but from a lot of people, different YouTubers I've seen, comments on the video talking about it and stuff, a lot of people are into this. I mean, and then I saw the commercial and I was like, wow, graphics look great. The mini games look like a ton of fun, and all the animation stuff look really well polished. I was actually super surprised. I looked at previous trailers and gameplay videos of the past ones before recording this, and I mean, they all looked kind of half budgety, janky, not gonna lie, but this one looked like it had some serious Nintendo polish and stuff going into it. I was actually really amazed. So, I mean, I might get this one. It looks like a lot of fun. It's like a Mario Party sports game. I mean, what more could you ask for, right? It looks awesome. So, that was very exciting. And then the most exciting, in my opinion, well, the second most exciting, in my opinion, thing was revealed about the Switch. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. It's the new Animal Crossing game. Like, it's finally been revealed, it's been shown. The graphics look amazing. Oh my goodness, I could talk about that all day. It was beautiful. It was like everything I could have hoped that a new Animal Crossing game would look like, you know? It was fantastic. It was interesting that you end up on an island. It starts with the plane sound effect, and it's like you arrived at your island vacation, and then you have a tent. But then they revealed such cool stuff. They added crafting. There's like a crafting bench, and you grab materials and you build like little benches and stools and campfires and whatever else. You dig paths, you make pathways, and then it has the usual stuff: cutting down trees, digging them up, planting them, and the planting mechanics stuff all looked so well done. It just looks amazing. And then they revealed a little hint of multiplayer, you know, with like 6 or so characters all running up to the side of the beach and stuff. I mean, it looks incredible. I I've been waiting for a full console game that's Animal Crossing for years. I mean, I love the 3DS and all, but I don't know, the visuals just get to me after a while. You can see all the individual jags and whatever. It's not great, but oh man, this game just looked so good. It just blew me away, and I cannot wait for it to come out. And they said it's coming out March of 2020. That's so much sooner than I ever expected it to be. That is amazing. Anyways, then they had this highlight reel of a bunch of games that some of them looked amazing. Other ones I literally have nothing to say about them, but other ones it was like, yes! Like, very first thing they revealed, which is smart that they revealed this first, Spyro, September 3rd. I mean, holy crap, I love Spyro. I love it so much. And finally, Spyro Trilogy on the Switch, September 3rd, just like they did, oh my goodness, what's the game? I can't think. Why can't I think of it? Crash Bandicoot, duh. Just like they did with Crash Bandicoot, that's coming to the Switch. That's amazing. I'm so excited. Hollow Knight, that is a really good game. They said coming soon. I don't know exactly what that means. Does that mean next year? Does that mean soon this year? I don't know. And then same with some other games. They said coming soon. I just don't know exactly when, so who knows. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Sorry. That one's coming out September 20th. That was exciting. I love that game. It's great. It was on PlayStation. It was fantastic. And then they made the sequel. They came to Steam and all that stuff. And now the first one, the original one, on the Switch. You can play wherever you want. On the go. Full RPG game right there. Awesome. And then they were like, oh yeah, Minecraft Dungeons. That was like an action, top-down, almost like an original Legend of Zelda kind of thing. Minecraft style. I don't know. It was weird. I mean, it could be fun. It looks like fun. The graphics were very nice. That comes out spring of 2020. And they had the Elder Scrolls Blades. Yay! Everybody wanted that on the Switch, right? No, nobody wanted that, but whatever. I mean, it's the authentic Elder Scrolls game. I better not get into it. I'm so upset with that. Anyways, my friend Pedro, I have no idea what that is. It was kind of like, okay, cool. June 20th, alright? Doom Eternal, coming soon. Neat. The Sinking City Fall. I think this was the one that kind of looked like a Call of Cthulhu kind of ordeal, which, if it is, I'm 100% into it. I love that stuff. I love horror. I love Call of Cthulhu and whatever. I don't know. That stuff is cool, so I'm really hoping that's what it is. But they showed like a second of it. I have no idea what it is. Wolfenstein Youngblood, July 26th. That's exciting. Wolfenstein is awesome. I love those games. And now coming to the Switch, Wolfenstein Youngblood, July 26th. Awesome. Dead by Daylight. This is really cool. September 24th. Dead by Daylight's coming out. And I love watching YouTubers play it. I've never played it myself, but I love watching YouTubers play it. And who knows, maybe this will stem off a bunch more YouTube videos of it. So I'm pretty hopeful for that because I love watching those videos. And the Alien Isolation. This was surprising to me. I was not expecting this at all. And it's sometime this year. We don't know exactly what day. It just said sometime this year, sometime 2019. But man, Alien Isolation, that's an amazing game. My favorite of all the Alien-esque games, that's for sure, because the other ones were kind of crap. That's just my opinion, but you know, didn't like any of them. But Alien Isolation is fantastic. And to come to the Switch, even better. Final Fantasy, I got a lot to say about this. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, coming this winter. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Like, out of all the reveals, this is one of the other ones that I'm just so excited. Like, the third most excited, or no, fourth most excited. Luigis Mansion, I'm so excited for. That's the third one. Fourth one is definitely this game, the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. So, I kind of have a story behind this, so bear with me. Me and my sister, we owned a Nintendo GameCube. And we had Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And then we're like, oh my goodness, it's multiplayer. So we tried playing a multiplayer, and it's like, you need a Game Boy Advance link cable thing to the GameCube. And it was like, what? And so we never got to play it multiplayer. We tried playing it single player. It was very difficult. It's a hard game, not going to lie. And we struggled with it, not going to lie. We couldn't really beat it. But we knew that if we could play multiplayer, we could definitely beat it. We always got pretty close to beating this one boss, and we're like, if only we could have a second person, this would have been way easier. But, you know, we couldn't really do that because we didn't have the game on Game Boy Advance, and we didn't have the cable at the time, and whatever else. And we've been trying to play it for years. We've been always wanting to try to play it. We even tried with emulator, and we couldn't get that to work either for some dumb reason. So we've never been able to play this game multiplayer. We've always wanted to, and now it's like, oh, here on the Switch, please be local multiplayer or something, and let us play this game. Oh my goodness, I want to play this game multiplayer so bad. Anyways, after that game, Dragon Quest Builders 2, July 12th. Super excited. I have the first one. Can't wait to play the second one. And it's multiplayer, which is amazing. Stranger Things 3, July 4th. That's freaking cool. I played the first one on Android. And it was a lot of fun. The 8-bit graphics were great. And the audio was all fantastic. So, pretty excited for that. Just Dance 2020. And that's November 5th of this year. Just Dance is cool. I'm hoping there's more songs and better songs than the 2019 one. My sister had it, and it wasn't great. Or was it 2019 or 2018? I can't remember. Either way, she didn't like it that much. I didn't like it either that much. It wasn't that great. 2020, who knows? It looks really good. I'm really hoping it is. Anyways, Catan. Settlers of Catan, June 20th. That's really cool. I love Settlers of Catan. It's a fun game. I have the VR version on the for my Oculus Rift and whatnot. And I actually got an Oculus Rift and I gave my sister the Vive. And I'm gonna make a new video about the Oculus at some point, comparing it to the Vive and why I ended up liking it more. But that's a whole other video. So since my sister has the Vive, she got the game too, Catan VR, and we play it every once in a while. It's fun. Lucky Tale. Lucky Tale coming failed 2019. That's such a good game. I played it on my VR headsets, and oh my goodness, it's fun. It's fantastic. So having that on Switch, freaking awesome. I'm not gonna get it. I have the VR version, and oh my goodness, the VR version's amazing. So I'm probably not gonna get the Switch one, But yeah, that's cool for people who don't have VR and whatever, and I've always wanted to play it. Now you can on the Switch on the go. Dauntless. Don't know what that game is. Don't really have anything to say. Late 2019. That's cool. Super Mario Maker 2, June 28th. That is so exciting. But, a lot's already been said about Super Mario Maker 2, so I'm not really going to go into it. After that, they had a surprising reveal. I have mixed feelings about this one because at first, oh man, this trailer was messing with me. I was like, oh my goodness, a 3D Donkey Kong game. It's happening, guys. Donkey Kong 64. This is it for the Nintendo Switch. I've been wanting that for so long. Ever since they announced the Switch, I was like, remake Donkey Kong 64. This is the time. I wanted them to remake it for all sorts of consoles, but instead they just kept putting it in like the digital shop or whatever. You could get the original version. I want them to remake it because it was such a good game. But instead, they showed Donkey Kong and whatever inside his house with Diddy and what's his name, King K. Rool or whatever. And then they hear something like, "What is that?" And they look out the window, and then it's like, "Oh, it's Banjo-Kazooie." So I was like, "Oh, a Banjo-Kazooie game! The other thing I've been wanting them to remake for the Nintendo Switch." Now he's gonna be in Smash Brothers Ultimate. I shouldn't have been surprised having DK and Banjo-Kazooie. It was a dream for me to have them both be released at the same time, these two remakes that I've been wanting forever. And I was like, here it is. And then it's like, oh, Smash Brothers Ultimate character. Here he is. You wanted this, right? I mean, he looks amazing. Stages look great. I'm probably going to get him. I haven't gotten any of the DLC ones, but I really want to get this one. There's something I love Banjo-Kazooie so much. So I'll probably get him. But man, my hopes were so high when I first saw them, and then my hopes got even higher when I saw the Banjo silhouette, and then they had Duck Hunt laughing in my face, and I was like, it started to dawn on me that this wasn't what I was wanting, and that's when they were like, joins the battle. I'm like, gosh dang it. I was so sad, but kind of excited at the same time. My feelings are so mixed right now. It's upsetting. Anyways, then they had the thing that I'm most excited for. Very last second, they showed like a reveal for the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This was a theory that I've had for a while that they would reuse the assets from Breath of the Wild to make a new Zelda sequel type game sooner rather than later, because if they reuse the assets like they did where they made Ocarina of Time and then they made Majora's Mask not that long after, I was really hoping that they do the same thing. They already have this amazing world, just do something else with it, and that's what they did. That's what they're doing. It's in production right now. There's no data or anything for it, but man, the commercial looked amazing, and you're going around with Zelda now. Like, because you freed her from the castle or whatever and defeated Ganon, and she's alive and whatever. So now, she's just with you. Like, you're traveling, you're going through this cave, there's water, and then there's like this crazy looking monster demon that's unleashed onto the world that isn't Ganon. And it looks so good. I am so excited. So, there you go. That was the E3 Nintendo Direct. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I mean, this is just as good of a lineup as I remember the Nintendo Switch coming out with Zelda and Breath of the Wild and like they revealed Mario Odyssey and all this stuff in like the first year, and it was amazing. And now suddenly, I was like, oh man, they're kind of slowing down a bit. And then wham, all these games, and they're such good ones. Two Zelda games. We know one's in the making, and one's coming out this year, The Link's Awakening. And then they have like the Trials of Mana games, and the Dragon Quest games, and Luigi's Mansion 3, and freaking Animal Crossing, and Fire Emblem. Oh my goodness, this year is amazing. This year is amazing. Like, they've done it again. Nintendo has whipped out their hat, and they're like, guess what, guys? Amazing Nintendo games are coming out, and amazing third-party games are coming out too again. And just a huge collection of them. There's so many. Oh man, I'm so excited. There's still one game that I forever am gonna want on the Switch, and I doubt they'll ever make. But man, do I want a remake of Chibi Robo, the Nintendo GameCube game. Just a remake of it. I don't even need a new one. I would love a new one. I would really love a new one. But even a remake of the GameCube game. That game was amazing. I love that game. I'll always love that game. And I want it on my Switch so I could play it all the time. Like all the time. I want it so badly. And then I also want them to take the was it DS or 3DS? I can't remember. The Flower Garden one, that one was pretty cool too, but it had a few quirks, and I feel like it could have been better. But this is their chance to make it better and to release it with amazing graphics on the Switch. I'm telling you, it would be great. I would love it. People would be happy. They were so disappointed with Zip Lash or Whiplash or whatever the crap it was called. Everybody was very disappointed by that, but I feel like this is their chance to really turn the tables on the Chibi Robo franchise and get it back in there. So I'm really hoping that they make that for the Switch. But other than that, this reveal has been exceptionally fantastic in so many different ways, and I am incredibly satisfied with everything that they've revealed. So, that's it. That's the video. I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.